New Minister Seal Colony Panchayat in Kohima has cracked down on late-night partying, drinking and noise pollution near the popular viewpoint. Tensions escalated in Manipur, Ukril district, Molnom village following an incident where armed Kuki militants allegedly intercepted a passenger bus. In a recent incident in Naga United village, 7 to 8 armed men reportedly entered a house and threatened a woman at gunpoint while searching for her husband, also allegedly taking away a gold chain. Nepalese in turmoil following Prime Minister K.B. Sharma Oli's resignation on Tuesday amid widespread unrest sparked by a now-lifted social media ban. Eastern Naga Students Federation has strongly objected to comments allegedly made by the advisor for school education, who reportedly dismissed the federation concern about data rationalization as nonsense. Good evening, viewers. This is Nikita, and you're watching English Primetime. Now the news in detail. The new Minister's Hill Colony Panchayat in Kohima has cracked down on late-night partying, drinking and noise pollution near the popular viewpoint. The Action Committee, led by Vivod Someto, announced that violators will face a between 10,000 fine and for repeat offenders, public exposure of their names and vehicle numbers in newspapers. CCTV cameras have been installed, and vandalism of notice banners by youth has already fueled local frustration. While residents remain welcome during the day for peaceful visit, the directive aims to safeguard tranquility for students, walkers, and the broader community, rupees 10,000 fine for late-night disturbances.
दूसरा कॉलोनी पर भी सुंदर से कोआ न होए नॉली बाल होशे साफा होशे एक तुबिन होए अलबी तु जगह कोआ निशना अलग व्यू वाला से कोहिमा टाउन पावले तो दिखी बोले अलग व्यू वाला से एतु निशना मानन तो आही থাকে एतु कुनुबा तो होले जवान छुकरी छोकरा खान नॉली भी तो बाबा मा खान भी बच्चा भी आही থাকে तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वहां तो दिखे तो एतु छोकरा छुकरी खान तो होले तो एन्जॉयमेंट करने आही जाए আৰু আহা তামতে দুসৰা খান মানটো একো মানাটো নাই হলেবি আহে কিনে মধু খাই যায় ইদা আহে কিনে তে বজা যায় আৰু ইটো নিউজেন্স খান হৈ যায় তো ইটো লোকেলিটি খান কে বি দিবদা দি যায় আৰু ইটো ওপৰতে বি ইটো ৰাতিতে তো হলে একটা কথা বি আছে হলেবি দিনটা হলেবি আহে কিনে বেছি ডিস্টার্ব হৈ যায় তো এইটো চাৰ্চ ডাঙৰ একটা আছে এইটো কেথেড্ৰেল চাৰ্চ আছে এছিয়াতে একটা ডাঙৰ চাৰ্চ আছে কেথলিক লাগা তো এইটো ওপৰেবি এইটো লিটল ফ্লাৱাৰ স্কুল আছে তো বাচ্চাহানটো যাহা কৰে তো ছুটি হৈ যায় তো মানুহহানটো আহি কিনে এতিয়া মদু খাই কিনে না বাচ্চাহানকে বি ডিষ্টাৰ্ব আৰু চাৰ্চ লাগা এইটো চাফা থকা লাগা জাগা বি এইটো লেতেৰা কৰি দি থাকে এনেকুৱা হ'লে মহান প্ৰব্লেম আলাগ ফেচ কৰি কিনে আহি থাকে তো স্পেচিয়েলি ৰাতিতেতো হ'লে মানুহখান আহি কিনে টেপ বজাব তো এইটো কোৱা নিচিনা এইটো জেগা ওচৰতে থকা কাৰণ কিন্তু বেছি দিগদাৰ দিয়ে আৰু কেতিয়াবা এইটো ষ্টুডেণ্ট এইটো স্কুলিং খান আৰু কলেজ ষ্টুডেণ্ট খান এক্সাম বি হয় এইটো টাইমতে বি বেছি ডিষ্টাৰ্ব কৰি দিয়ে এইটো ওপৰতে বি আজিকালিতো হ'লে এক্সামটো হ'লে আলাগ এক্সাম বেছি আছে কম্পিটিটিভ এক্সাম বেছি আছে এইটো কোনোবাতো হ'লে দৰৱাজা বন্ধ কৰি সদায় এইটো কাগজ পৰি থাকে এইটো আনকি বি ডিষ্টাৰ্ব হৈ যায় এনেকুৱা হৈ কিনে এতিয়া আহি কিনে খাই পেলাই নহয় নে হাল্লা কৰিব আৰু মাৰপিট বি কৰি যায় তো দিনতে এনেকুৱা থাকিব ৰাতিতে এনেকুৱা থাকিব একদম ৰাতিপুৱা মৰ্ণিংতে আহিলেতো এইটো জেগাটো একদম লেতেৰাহি থাকিব তো বটলছ খান ফেকা কিনে থাকিব কিবা কিবি লেতেৰা খান চব বি পাই যায় এনেকুৱা হোৱাৰ কাৰণে মহানটো হ'লে এইটোতো নহ'ব কিবা একটা কামটো কৰিবলৈ লাগি যাইছে কৈ কিনে মহান 10 সাল আগে আছে ৰিজলিউশ্যন বি পাছ কৰি কিনে কাম কৰিছে তো মহান একবাৰ পৰা মানুহ লগতে ফাইন ল'ব নহ'লে বি মানুহকে আনকে জখম কৰি দিব বিয়া পাবলৈ দিব লাগে এনেকুৱা নহওক কিনে মান লাহেকে এইটো পাৰাক মানুহকে আণ্ডাৰষ্টেণ্ড কৰি কিনে মহা লগা বাৰ্ডেন মহা লগা এইটো ছুট থকাটো এইটো জানিবলৈ কাৰণে মহান বি পাৰাক মানুহকে কৈ কিনে মুঠ পাৰ বি কৈ কিনে আহিছে দুচৰা কলনী বাৰ বি সুন্দৰ আছে কোৱা নহয়
The NSCN-GBRN has extended its ceasefire agreement with the government of India for another year, officials confirmed on September 9. The agreement was signed by Inno Abel Zingru Tur and Inno Amika Chimi on behalf of the NSCN-GBRN and Brashan Lonte, Joint Secretary representing the government of India. The extension aims to maintain peace and facilitate ongoing dialogue between the two sides. In a recent incident at Naga United Village, 7 to 8 armed men reportedly entered a house and threatened a woman at gunpoint while searching for her husband, also allegedly taking away a collection. One assailant claimed affiliation with the NSCN Kango group. However, Hogashe Muru, MIB councillor of the NSCN Kango Hogado faction, denied any group involvement, stating that if any member is found guilty, strict action will be taken under their Yizabo. A special team has been formed to investigate, and the group assured the public of their commitment to justice, calling the act a possible attempt to malink their image. We have a report on this truth, reporter Musarraf Ali. Let's have a look.
Afghan 7 September incident Naga United Village te ki happen guruche itu laga clarification lobole garni moi khan la office te ha to bishi khushi paise as a government moi khan tati victim logoti media khan interview latam di moi khan laga NSN 8 September te NSN kangwa laga office te ahi kena lo kuruwi kwa laga hunya cheti moi khan bi bishi shock paise Kiniga Kurugena NSN Ken Laganam to Letati Ahikena Seguena. Right after we heard the things, we swiftly put an inquiry. Our soap common logoti Hudi Saise, soap common logoti inquiry Guru Saise, Olipukun La Kaman be Inika La Kam Tipat Napatakina Takise, NSN Kelagato. Aro NSN Ketu Ele as a government, Moikantu Itutole totally condemn Kurase. Aro victim laga family aro United Village khanra ki happen kuri kena thage ase moi khan bi apun khan lokate ase aro moi khan tu hoile ida to le officially inquiry committee set up kuri kena kun khan yati involve kuri kena thage kena nation ke laga nam loi kena thage ase itu tu hoile thoroughly investigate kurase koi kena itu public domain দিয়ে clarification দি দিয়েছে নাগা ন্যাশনাল ওয়ার্কার আছে মই খান তো হইলে চোর ঘোরা মান্য হয় itu bra kun hobi ku personal capacity bra kurigena thakibi kunba government bra moi khan laga image tarnish kurobole karni itu laga action kurigena thakibi moi khan to inquiry to kura ase sob details to le eta to le public domain to ani bole na paribo hoile bi action to le as per the as of the nation moi khan to hoile stringent action to lobole ase koigini to clarification dia ase moi khan to ceasefire thake ase aro ceasefire ground rules si bandi kena rakhi kena ase kiniga kurigena arms gather sapta adda arms gather ekta kaman pra iniga ulai kena kam kuru bole dibo itu to ekta gorti ki laga kam kurigena thakile bi ki laga issue tu hoile bi kitabi arms to iniga risk pra pathai kini inika kam kuru bole na parbo tu hoile bi itu laga kam to hoile completely chor laga hesab te ai jaise tai kham to evidence bi destroy kurigena jaise ko ase itu garni itu to hoile innocent kel to hoile we have nothing to do with that aro tati ekta thake ase moi khan itu preparators khan logoti bi message pathabole mon ase kun pra kurigena thakibi itu innocent ke laga nam loi kena thaka to hoile to innocent to hoile stringent action to hoile lobo koi kena apnan logot pata ase aro tati by mistake pra hoile bi যদি NSN laga keder tadi involve kurigena thakise goile moi khan to as a government itu action to hoile swift action ti lobo stringent action ti lobo as per the as of the NSN apngan 7 September incident
Magogchung DC Ajit Kumar Verma officially unveiled the theme tracksuit and field uniform for the upcoming second Nagaland Junior Athletics Championship 2025, underscoring the district administration commitment to nurturing young athletic talent in the state. The launch, held at his office with STO Dem Suchuba in attendance, featured Verma praising the organizing committee's efforts and expressing optimism that the championship will inspire excellence across district as a key platform for showcasing emerging athletes. The Military Civil Fusion Seminar kick-off at Koima Garrison, focusing on enhancing cooperation between military and civilian governance to drive inclusive development in Nagaland. In a virtual address, former Governor Dr. S.C. Jamir stressed that strategies must be sensitive to the region's historical, socio-cultural, and geographic context to ensure inclusive progress. Commissioner Krekori Tejawili highlighted the need for stronger military-civilian coordination, while various state officials underscored the shared responsibility in advancing infrastructure, healthcare, youth empowerment, disaster management, and overall governance in the state. The Naga Students Federation Inner Line Regulation Commission has endorsed Timabur Administration revised ILB guidelines for Timabur, Chimogitima, and Newland pressing improvement in categorization, transparency, and enforcement, while firmly rejecting any fee waivers for visitors. The ILRC also insisted on using the historical accurate term inner line bus in line with the 1873 Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation and reaffirmed its commitment to upholding the ILB system under Article 271A to protect Nagaland identity and heritage. Now we will have a short break. Welcome back, viewers. You are watching English Primetime. The Directorate of Treasury and Accounts, Nagaland, has mandated all drawing and dispersing officers to complete pending updates of ENB's contributions on the Nodal Treasury portal by September 15. An action taken report is to be submitted to the Directorate by September 30. Additionally, DDOs are advised to regularly download and securely archive data from the ENB's portal to ensure proper audit compliance and maintain reliable backup records. The Eastern Naga Students Federation has strongly objected to comments allegedly made by the advisor for school education, who reportedly dismissed the federation concern about teacher rationalization as nonsense. In a letter dated September 3, ENSF acknowledged the challenges of implementing rationalization but urged the advisor to approach education reforms with patience, humility, and accountability. The federation emphasized the need for transparency and prioritizing the state-based interests of students in Eastern Nagaland. The fourth round of tripartite talks concerning the Frontier Nagaland territory is set to take place today at Police Complex in Chumakitima. This meeting will involve the Eastern Nagaland People's Organization, the Government of India, and the Government of Nagaland. The discussion aimed to address unresolved issues from the previous meeting on July 23, where central officials reportedly engaged seriously and practically. ENBOS reiterated that while its original demand for separate statehood remains, the FNT arrangement could be an acceptable and honorable solution if implemented sincerely. Chief Minister Dr. Nltv has acknowledged the development. The Department of Social Welfare in Nagaland has initiated a comprehensive performance assessment of all Angkawadi centers statewide. This decision follows concern over persistently low enrollment and underperformance is highlighted by data from the Motion Tracker app integrated with a facial recognition system. Underperforming centers will be rationalized and relocated to unreserved areas that meet the prescribed eligibility criteria, aiming to enhance the reach and efficiency of the Integrated Child Development Services Scheme. A solemn farewell ceremony was held on September 8 at Zelomi Village, Pack District. The honor surgeon late Chazurume of the One Naga Air Squadron, who passed away on September 7 in Dimapur. Organized by the SM Rifles, the ceremony included a card of honor, red laying, and a final salute, attended by officers, colleagues, family members, and villagers. The event was a tribute to Sergeant Rium's dedicated service to the nation. Both the SM Rifles and the Indian Army Force stood in solidarity with the Barre family, remembering his selfless contribution. Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee Vice President Shabol Konyak held a meeting with the newly appointed leadership of the 46th Assembly Constituency Congress Committee in Mon. The session saw participation from the new ACCC President and General Secretary. Konyak stressed the need to strengthen the party at the grassroots level, urging leaders to engage closely with the public. Key points discussed included strategies for organizational activities, mobilizing youth and women, and addressing local issues. He assured full NBCC support in revitalizing the Congress presence in Mon and across Nagaland. Tension escalated in Manipur, Ukhrul District, Monlom Village, following an incident on September 8, where armed Kuki militants allegedly intercepted a passenger bus traveling from Sinakedi to Impal. Eyewitness reported that the militants halted the bus near Molnom Village between 7:30 and 8 am. forcing passengers to surrender their mobile phones for inspection. The militants reportedly searched the devices for photographs or recordings of a militant camp. Although the phones were returned later, the group allegedly fired blank rounds into the air, causing panic among commuters. The Morrigan District Administration in Assam has issued a show cause notice to senior gynecologist Dr. Kandeshwar Bordoloi for performing 21 cesarean deliveries within 10 hours at Morrigan Civil Hospital, raising concern over safety and protocol adherence. The notice cites inadequate documentation and possible lapses in sterilization and post-operative care, with Dr. Bordoloi asked to respond within 3 days. Defending his actions, the doctor claimed all procedures followed standard protocols and most mothers and infants have been discharged safely. He expressed dismay over the controversy, hinting at a possible resignation. A new orchid species, Hemiphilia passifolidia, has been discovered in Arunachal Pradesh remote Moida region, researchers confirmed on September 9. Found at 2,400 meters in the lower Dibang Valley district, the species shows distinct traits from its closest relative, Hemiphilia buberula. The discovery was made by a team led by Dr. Krishna Chawla of the Botanical Survey of India in collaboration with the state's Orchid Research Center. With only a few flowering individuals found, experts have raised urgent calls for conservation amid mounting ecological threats. CM Bima Kandu held defined as a scientific milestone for the state. A violent confrontation erupted in Singhi Mari village on the Indo-Bangladesh border in Dhubri when members of two factions clashed over a disputed land plot, leaving 9 people including several women injured. Haider Ali's side resisted efforts by Ajuddin and Mox committee members to evict them, resulting in a violent melee involving sharp weapons and sticks. 3 of the injured, among them women, are in critical condition at TMCH. Haider Ali's family has lodged a complaint at Dhubri Sadar police station, alleging police inaction in response to the attack.
এইটো মাটি নিয়ে কাজে তিন ঘর আছিল মানে আমার টিনের ছালা আছিল 3 বাউন্ডারি আছিল 77 জন টিন আছিল 77 জন টিন রাত্রি নিয়ে গেছিল ওই আজুদ্দি মেরাল্লি শেরাল্লি এই কমিটি মানে সব নিয়ে গেছিল ভাঙি নিয়ে গেছিল তারপরে সকালে আসছিল মোর বোন গেলে গেছে কভার দিয়ে এই বিলা দাও খোঁচা দিয়ে এই বিলা রড দিয়ে মারিছে নাটি দিয়ে মারিছে
কয়জন ইনজুর্ড হয়েছে
এটা আছে 9 জন 9 জনের মধ্যে 3 জন আছে হসপিটালে 6 জন বাড়িতে আছে
3 জনের নাম
3 জনের মধ্যে কি আছে ওই হিজরা আছে হিজরা বিবি মুজিয়া বিবি আর আরজুমনি
বাচ্চা নেই
হ্যাঁ বাচ্চা 10 বছর বয়স ওই ফটো করে দিয়েছিল তাকে নিয়ে মাথার ডাং মারিছেন
কি দিয়ে মারছে
রড দিয়ে ডাং আছিল আর এই দাও দিয়ে ছোট ছিল
কেমন অবস্থা আর
অবস্থা খারাপ সিলাই পড়ছিল ওই এলাও হসপিটাল মেডিকেলত আছে
হাল্লাটা কি নিয়ে
হাল্লাই মাটি নিয়ে
কার লগত
ওই আইজুদ্দিন নামক আর কমিটির নাম
কমিটি
হ্যাঁ
কি কমিটি
এটা মসজিদ কমিটি
মসজিদ
হ্যাঁ
মাটিটা কার
মাটিটা আমার
আপনার মানে আপনার শ্বশুর বাড়ি
হ্যাঁ আমার শ্বশুর বাড়ির মাটি
ঘটনা কোন জায়গাতে ছিল
এই সিঙ্গিমারি
কেমন ভয়ঙ্কর পরিবেশ ছিল
খুব ভয়ঙ্কর মানে দেখেন মাথার কি আছে ভিডিও করা আছে ভিডিও করে দেখে নেন ওই ইউটিউব
আরে জোয়াকালি লোকক
মানে খুব নরমাল দিয়ে দেন
মানে
নরমাল দিল মানে কো রিলিজ দিয়ে দিল যাও বাড়ি
অরিজিনালি
হ্যাঁ
অরিজিনাল অবস্থা কেমন
অরিজিনাল অবস্থা খারাপ আচ্ছা 4 দিন থেকে পানি খায় না কোনো খায় না মানে বাচ্চাটা খায় আর দুইটা বন্ধ খায় না হ্যাঁ মানে পানি বন্ধ খায় না দেখেন আমার পানি বন্ধ খাওয়া নিছে না
এখন আপনি
কি করা যাবে যেটা কি হয় এফার্ট দিছেন
কোন জায়গা
আমার ধর্মলা বিলে এফার্ট দিছেন চলে যাও আসামি আছে এই 20 জন দিছি না কাই যায় না থানাতে কোনো যায় না দিয়ে দিছে কাগজ সহ দিছে আমরা যাওয়া নিছে না তারা
মানে পুলিশে
পুলিশে কোনো যায় না, হ্যাঁ।
পুলিশক ম্যানেজ করে বলে ভাবে নাকি আপনারা?
মানে কোনো কোনো উদ্দেশ্য নিতেছে না, আমরা বারে বারে ফোন করি, কয় যাও তোমরা যাও আমি যাবো, তুমি যাও আমি যাবো, মানে কোনো করতেছে না। মানে কাগজ সাজ এসে গেছে মানে 12টা 1টার সময় কোনো বাইরে কল যে যা আমি যাতেছি ফিল্ডত আছে বাইরে আছি, ওইভাবে আমাকে দিয়ে দিছে।
ইনজুর্ড মানুষগুলো দেখে গেছে নাকি কোনো পুলিশ?
In Gachar Bandarkal, a man named Rintu Malakar was arrested on Monday for allegedly attempting to murder his wife, Moni Malakar, under the influence of alcohol. On September 6, Rintu attacked Moni with a machete, leaving her critically injured. She was rushed to Silchar Medical College and Hospital, where she remains in critical condition. Police acted on a debrief of the urban Rintu, who is now in custody and being interrogated. Further legal action will be followed once the investigation concludes.
तुमको कौन मारा? मनी। मनी, देखो इधर देखो, तुमको कौन मारा? हे, कौन मारा? बोलो ना।
रिंकू।
हाँ? रिंकू। रिंकू कौन है तुम्हारा?
हस्बैंड।
हस्बैंड। रिंकू कौन मारा? बांग्ला से बोलो, बांग्ला से बोलो। रिंकू रिंकू कौन है?
हमारा हस्बैंड।
जमाई है क्या?
हाँ।
टूटू कहाँ में है अभी?
है मत खाया जैसे हमारा काटिया।
मत खाई के काटा है। कब काटा था?
The Principal Session Court in Kanchipuram on Monday ordered the arrest of Deputy Superintendent of Police Shankar Kanesh for allegedly failing to act promptly in a case filed under the SC Prevention of Atrocities Act. The case pertains to the bakery violence incident in Walachabad. Tension arose at the court as police initially hesitated to arrest the senior officer, even mistakenly believed he had gone missing. He was later found within the court complex. In the evening, DSP Kanesh was admitted to hospital due to health issues, and further action will depend on medical advice, officials said. Security has been heightened in West Bengal, Darjeeling district, which shares a long border with Nepal, following violent youth-led protests across the Himalayan nation over government corruption. Darjeeling SP Bravin Prakash confirmed 24/7 checkpoints have been set up at official entry exit point along the Indo-Nepal border, with additional forces deployed for patrolling. Reserve forces are also on standby to handle any exigencies, while assuring that the situation on the Indian side remains peaceful. The SP urged residents not to panic, stating that all measures are in place to prevent any spillover of unrest.
So whatever the official exit entry point we have from Nepal to India and from India to Nepal, we have put Naka over there for 24/7, and to check the movement of any unsocial element, we will be alert. And we apart from that, we have also deployed some force on the border area, and we are doing patrolling so that any kind of unsocial element movement can be tracked, and if it has any security implication, we can immediately neutralize that situation so that everything is safe on our side. With Nepal, we share a long border, so on the border area also we are doing some patrolling, and we have some reserve forces kept over here to meet with any exigencies. But I do not think there is such a certain kind of emergency situation on our side, so we are just vigilant.
What is the situation so far? I mean, is it peaceful or?
It is completely peaceful here. There is no point to worry about. There is no point to panic about.
लेकिन सिलगुड़ी अभी जो नेपाल का सिचुएशन थोड़ा खराब है, थोड़ा नहीं बहुत ज़्यादा खराब है, इसलिए हम लोग वापस लौट रहे हैं सिलगुड़ी।
रोके कोई दंगा हुआ आगे, इसलिए गाड़ी को जाने नहीं दे रहे आगे। पार्किंग में है जो, वो पार्किंग में खड़ी किया हुआ है, जो पीछे है वो रोड पर खड़ी हुई है गाड़ी, कोई पता नहीं कोई दो।
Air India and Indigo have cancelled flights between Delhi and Kathmandu due to the temporary closure of Tribhuvan International Airport amid escalating anti-government protests in Nepal. The protests intensified following the resignation of Prime Minister KB Sharma only on Tuesday, leading to significant disruption. Voting for the 2025 Indian vice presidential election commenced on September 9 at Parliament House, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi casting the first vote. Other prominent leaders, including Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, and Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, Kiren Rijiju, and Hardeep Singh Puri, also participated. The election is a direct contest between NDA nominee C.P. Radhakrishnan and opposition candidate B. Sudarshan Reddy. With a total of 781 members in the Electoral College, the majority mark stands at 291. As of 3 p.m., voter turnout was reported at 96%, with voting concluding at 5 p.m. and counting scheduled to begin at 6 p.m. Results are expected later in the evening. The United Nations has revealed that the devastation caused by Afghanistan August 31 earthquake is far worse than initially feared. Over 5,200 homes have been destroyed and nearly 700 damaged across 49 villages, with hundreds more remote areas still inaccessible due to the landslide and blocked roads. The 6.0 magnitude quake was killed at least 2,200 people and affected nearly 50,000, more than half of them children. With survivors exposed to harsh conditions, the UN has warned of a potential cholera outbreak and is said to launch an emergency appeal on Tuesday for urgent aid, including food, shelter, and warm clothing. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said imposing tariffs on countries continuing trade with Russia is a right idea without specifically naming India. Speaking to ABC News, Zelensky emphasized the importance of sanctions amid ongoing conflict. The remarks come after U.S. President Donald Trump doubled tariffs on Indian goods to 50%, including additional duties linked to India's Russian crude oil imports, actions India called unfair and unreasonable. Zelensky had spoken to Prime Minister Modi days before Modi's meeting with Putin at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, reiterating the need for an immediate ceasefire and peaceful resolution. Kathmandu has been placed under an indefinite curfew after violent protests against Nepal government imposed social media ban turned deadly. The Kathmandu District Administration reimposed the curfew from 8:30 a.m. Tuesday, following overnight clashes that left 19 dead and over 200 injured. Similar restrictions have been enforced in parts of Bagdabur and Lalitpur. Despite the lockdown, fresh student-led protests broke out in several areas, with demonstrators blocking roads and burning tires. The curfew has caused panic buying, transport shutdowns, and school closures. In a late-night move to ease tensions, the government lifted the social media ban, but unrest continued. Nepal is in turmoil following Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's resignation on Tuesday amid widespread unrest sparked by an now lifted social media ban. Despite the ban's reversal, protests have intensified, with agitators torching Oli's Palgot residence and attacking homes of top officials, including ministers and opposition leaders. The army, while prepared to intervene, demanded Oli step down first, prompting his resignation. Over 200 have been injured and at least 19 killed as glaciers spread beyond Kathmandu. Curfews are in place across multiple districts, and political fallout continues, with several ministers resigning in protest against the government violent crackdown. In the past 24 hours, authorities rescued over 10,000 people in Multan after floodwaters surged into the historic city, pushing the death toll in Punjab to at least 61 since late August and over 900 nationwide since June, while more than 4,355 villages remain submerged, displacing millions and prompting evacuation efforts exceeding 2 million and set up of hundreds of relief camps. France's government collapsed on Monday after legislators overwhelmingly voted no confidence in Prime Minister Francois Bayro's minority administration. The 364 to 194 vote came as Bayro's call for deep public spending cuts backfired, uniting lawmakers against him. Appointed just 9 months ago, Bayro's exit forces President Emmanuel Macron to find his fourth Prime Minister within a year amid growing political instability. The government fall raises concern about legislative deadlock as France faces economic challenges and global crises, including conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza. U.S. President Donald Trump condemned the Russia-Ukraine war as a horrible waste of humanity, noting that roughly 7,000 soldiers were being lost weekly, tragically not Americans. He expressed confidence the conflict will be resolved and recalled his claim of having previously settled 7 wars during his presidency.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about the whole situation. You know, it's interesting. It doesn't affect us because it's not our soldiers. But they're losing now. I used to tell you 5,000. They're losing 7,000 between Ukraine and Russia, 7,000 soldiers every single week. It's such a horrible waste of humanity. So, no, I am not thrilled with what's happening there, I will tell you. I think it's going to get settled. So I settled 7 wars. This, I would have said, would have been maybe the easiest one to settle of all. But with war, you never know what you're getting. But we're going to get it, I believe we're going to get it settled. But I am not happy with them. I'm not happy with anything having to do with that war. It's just such a waste of great humanity.
White House trade advisor Peter Navarro today launched a blistering critique of the BRICS bloc, calling its members vampires who all hate each other, dismissing their unity and warning that the alliance won't last. He singled out India as the Maharaja of tariffs and accused it of acting as a laundromat for the Kremlin by profiting from Russian oil, cautioning that continued alignment with Moscow and Beijing won't end well. Navarro also accused China of colonizing Siberia, mocked Brazil's economic policies, and urged global partners to either align with the US or risk losing access to American markets. The Israeli military has ordered a full evacuation of Gaza City, marking a major escalation on its ongoing offensive and putting nearly 1 million Palestinians at risk. Defense Minister Israel Katz confirmed the demolition of 30 high-rise buildings, accusing Hamas of using them for military operations. Prime Minister Netanyahu pledged to destroy at least 50 towers of terror, believed to house Hamas surveillance and command infrastructure. As multiple buildings have already been leveled, fears of urban devastation are growing. Civilians are being directed to a southern humanitarian zone, but few have managed to flee, raising alarm among aid groups. A week-long project, Sabrodo District Sub-Juniors Football Coaching Camp, commenced at Tizama Village Ground, Koima on September 9. Organized by Vision Hill School, Bezocha, Koima, in collaboration with football licensed coaches of Koima District and under the patronage of the Koima District Football Association. The game aims to nurture young football talent aged 10 to 13. Over 50 participants from schools across Koima have registered for the camp, which runs until September 13. The initiative was aimed at boosting Koima representation in state and nation-level tournaments and creating a structured pathway for young players to progress in the sport. Australian batsman George Hazlewood has dismissed speculation that the upcoming Asia Series could be the final outing for the veteran-based trio of Hazlewood, Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starc. Speaking of the media, Hazlewood confirmed that all 3 remain committed to Day's cricket and intend to continue playing for at least 2 more years. Despite injuries, Cummins managing a lumbar stress issue and Starc retiring from T20s, none are considering retirement. Starc has committed to Days and ODI formats through the 2027 World Cup, while Cummins is skipping upcoming white ball matches to focus on the Ashes. Hazlewood also praised the rising crop of Aussie East bowlers sweating in the wings. India will stick to their trusted all-rounder heavy strategy as they prepare to face host UAE in their Asia Cup opener on Wednesday. Head coach Gautam Gambhir is focused on multi-skilled players who offer batting depth up to number 8, leaving the team undecided only on whether to include a third spinner or a specialist passer. The UAE clash will serve as a dress rehearsal for the high-stake game against Pakistan on September 14. While Jidai Sharma edges out Sanju Samson as the preferred keeper batter, Shubham Gill returns to open with Abhishek Sharma, with Dilak Verma and Surya Kumar Yadav say to anchor the top order. Hardik Bandya and Shivam Tip add muzzle and versatility in the middle, while Aksar battle boosts both spin and batting depth at number 8. With Bumrah and Arshdeep locked in, the final bowling slot remains a toss-up between Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav. For UAE, led by coach Lachan Rajput, the match offers a rare opportunity to test themselves against elite opposition like India. That's all for today's English Primetime News. For more news and updates, keep watching Nltv.